All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to talk about one of my favorite lessons that I would teach inside the classroom, and that is the day of radians versus degrees. And the reason why I love this lesson is because a lot of times when I ask students about pi, they know of pi. They kind of know what pi, represented from their geometry class, but they really didn't have a good understanding of it. And they couldn't really apply anything around it. They just kind of knew it was this constant and they know it dealt with like our diameter and our radius and that was kind of it. They just kind of like accepted it and then could do the math with it. But in this lesson we're going to get deep into radians and we're going to relate them to our unit circle because to be honest with you, I don't like dealing with degrees. I get it. We've used degrees all throughout basically our education up to this point. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to make a pivot. We're going to talk about degrees. And then for the rest of these lessons, I'm really mostly just going to focus on radians. So besides understanding that first quadrant portion, this is probably the next most important video because you really need to understand radians. And I don't want you to take whatever I give you a radian and always be converting it to degrees. No. We need to understand radians. So to understand radians, we need to know where exactly a radian comes from and how we even represent or what the measurement of a radian is. So let's go back to our understanding of circles and the parts of a circle. So if I just create a nice little circle, it doesn't have to be the unit circle. It can just be any circle. We know that the distance from any point on our circle to the center is going to be what we call the radius of the circle, right? And we just denote that a little r. Now, the way that I always like to explain this is pretend that that radius here is a noodle, a piece of pasta. That's a dry noodle, right? So it's nice and strict. There's no like kind of movement on it. And you can just rotate that all around the origin and it's going to knock on all these points here of the circle, right? Well, what about if we take that noodle or that radius and we drop it into some hot water? Well, now we can kind of like wrap it around a little bit, right? So what about if we start on this positive x-axis right here and we wrap this radius around our circle, right? It's malleable now, so now we can do that. Well, we can do it one time, right? We could do it two times. And oh my God, wouldn't it be so cool if we could take that radius and wrap it around three circles? It would be so easy to understand what a radian is. Even what because you could say three radiuses make up half a circle. That'd be perfect. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, there's this little sliver right here. And so it doesn't perfectly wrap halfway around a circle, or at least the radiuses doesn't wrap halfway around a circle. And so what we need to do is we need to come up with that distance. And that measurement is, 0.14159, ... and you hopefully know the rest of the answer. It goes on forever. So the number of radiuses it takes to wrap around a circle is, guess what? You guessed it, pi. And that's the kind of definition that I always like to, or the visualization I like to think about pi. It's basically the number of radiuses that we can take that makes to wrap around the circle. But that doesn't explain what exactly a radian is. So when we take that radius and we wrap it around the circle, that measurement of rotation of your radius is going to be what we call the angle of a radian. So if you look at this again and we say, all right, well, one radius wrapped around a circle went to probably around there. So if I drew a line from there to there, we would call that a measurement of rotation from here to here as being 1 radian. So I can say theta, which will represent my angle, equals 1 radian. Basically, your radius being wrapped around the arc, that measure of rotation from a line from here wrapped to here is going to give you 1 radian. And then if we go to our second one, we could say, well, the measurement of rotation from here to here would be 2 radians. So we say theta equals 2. And then you got 3 radians, which would be from here to here. So you could say it there. And then so theta equals 3. And then guess what? You guessed it. If we go halfway around a circle, that's going to be pi radians. Now, I don't have enough room on that one. Everything's kind of getting jumbled. So let's kind of go through an initial graph to summarize this with pi. So I'm going to do multiple of these, and we're going to understand how we're going to use our radians or where they come about. So let's do the first circle. My circle training really needs some work. All right, so we talked about halfway around a circle, right? From here to here, ladies and gentlemen, represents pi. Okay, because that's 3.14159, right? That's going to be pi right on from there. So halfway around circle is going to be pi. That's not pi. I don't want you to guys get confused. The sliver is not pi. Halfway around a circle is pi. That rotation would be pi. So what about if I do half of that? Well, that would be 1/2 of pi, right? And you could write 1/2 times pi is the same thing as pi halves. Well, what about if you go from here and you add a half, right? Well, that would be 3 pi halves. And what about if you did all the way around? So from here to here is pi, and then you go from here to here, that would be 2 pi. Right? So now you can see these represented these. And again, these are all going to be rotations from over to here. So we have that represents pi halves. That represents pi. And again, we're always talking about the rotation here from this positive x-axis. And I'll get into that formal definition here as we are explaining it at the end of this video. Then we have that one as 3 pi halves, and then this rotation here all the way around is going to be a 2 pi. Now, let's play around with this a little bit more. Let's go ahead and redraw the triangle and say, all right, or not the triangle, the circle. So my finger moved. I swear my triangles are not that bad. All right, so we know this is pi halves, right? Well, what about then if I cut that in half one more time? Well, then that would be from over here to here. So from there to there, that would be 1/2 of 1/2, which would be pi over 4. And then if you look at over here, if you kind of break this into 4 equal parts, you could say that's pi over 4. From here to here would be 2 pi over 4. This is going to represent 3 pi over 4. Right? And then now let's say, all right, well, what about we break the bottom into 4 quadrants? We can cut it in half, and then we can break those in half. So therefore, that's 3 pi over 4. That would be 4 pi over 4, right? And what do we know about 4 pi over 4? That's just equal to pi, right? And then if you rotate over here, that's a pi over 4 plus 4 pi over 4, which would be a 5 pi over 4. And then you could do 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4. So this would be a 7 pi over 4. And then if you were all the way around, that would be 2 pi. Or if you think about this, 4 pi over 4 plus 4 pi over 4 would be a 8 pi over 4, which again, we know, ladies and gentlemen, is just going to be, oops, I ran out of my space. I didn't do it up here, did I? No, okay. So all the way around would be a 2 pi, right? So now we had it in halves and quarters. Well, what else could we do? And hopefully you're kind of onto me. You're like, well, we were talking about 30, 60, 90 triangles. We could do thirds and we could do 6 of it. And you're like, yeah, all right, this guy's starting to get onto something. So what about if we take our triangle, and what about if we break it up into thirds like this, right? So this would be 1/3 or pi over 3. You could do 2 pi over 3, right? Because I want you to see, these are all in thirds, right? So from here to here would be pi over 3. That'd be 2 pi over 3. Halfway around circle would be 3 pi over 3, which would equal to a pi. Then you could break this into thirds. So these are all equal 3 spots. Well, again, if you're doing this, that's 3 pi over 3. Then this would be a 4 pi over 3. This would be a 5 pi over 3. And again, we're measuring this rotation from this positive axis. And this would be a 6 pi over 3, which is again equal to 2 pi, right? All right, and then let's do one more, because we could always take our thirds and cut them in half, and then they wouldn't be broken up into 6 parts, but they'd actually be broken up into 6 parts, right? So you could do this. Now you can see, oh, now we're having some fun here. So we break those up. And now you can see for each half of my circle, for each pi, I've now broken it up into 6 equal parts. So now in this case, you could see, well, this would be pi over 6. Here would be 2 pi over 6, which is the same thing as pi over 3, right? 3 pi over 3, which is the same thing, I'm sorry, 3 pi over 6, which is the same thing as pi halves. 4 pi over 6, which is the same thing as 2 pi over 3. This would be a 5 pi over 6. This is going to be a 6 pi over 6. This would be a 7 pi over 6. an 8 pi over 6, 9 pi over 6, 10 pi over 6, which is again 5 pi over 3, and an 11 pi over 6. And that makes sense, right? Oh man, why do I keep on mentioning this up? Let's go ahead and rewrite that over. There you go. Sorry about that. So that would be 2 pi. Shoot. Sorry, messing this up. So that's a 6 pi. Why did I move that? Oh, let's just rewrite that. Okay, so that'd be a 6 pi over 3. All the way around circle is a 6 pi over 3, which equals a 2 pi. Right? So then this is 6 pi over 3. So this is going to be a 6 pi over 6, which is equal to a pi. And then this would be a 12 pi over 6, which equals to a 2 pi. All right, now this all brings into, well, then how are we going to do our graphing, Mr. McLogan? Like, how do we go ahead and do this? Because that's the practice that I want you to do. Hopefully, in the previous example, you have a fundamental understanding here of how this kind of works with the points on the unit circle. But in this one, I really want you to focus on practicing graphing. We really want to focus practicing graphing, and then we're going to relate that to the points, as well as relate that to the radians. So when we are graphing in what we call standard form, because if you think about this, like if I say draw me an angle, well, that can be any angle in space, right? I could say, if I say draw me something that's 30 degrees, you could say, all right, well, there's 30 degrees, right? You could also do 30 degrees like this. There's many different ways we could show 30 degrees. It's just a measure of rotation between two rays. But when we're talking about in standard form, what we're always going to do is you always want to think about this as an initial side and a terminal side. So this is going to be what we call our initial side, always the positive side of the x-axis. And that's what I've referred to always from there. And then we're going to have our terminal side. And our terminal side is, if we rotate in the counterclockwise direction, that's going to be a positive rotation. And if we rotate in the clockwise direction, that is going to be a negative rotation. So this is going to be our standard form. Now, one thing I also wanted to relate to you, I think it's important to understand radians on their own and not always have to convert them to the degrees. But one thing I'm going to have you practice after this video or during this video is also finding the coordinate points here on there. So I think it's important for us to understand that, well, how do our radians relate to what we have for our degrees? Now, if you think about this, if we take pi, we know pi is the same thing as 180 degrees, right? If you think about that relationship, that's still 180, and we know that that's the same thing as 360 degrees. So if you're dividing by 2, hopefully you recognize, well, that's 90, right? And that's 270. Now, if you take 90 degrees and you reflect this to, and you cut that in half again, you can see that that's the same thing as 45 degrees, right? So that's 45, 135, 225, 315. Over here, if you take this, if you take thirds, well, how can I break up 180 degrees into thirds? Well, that would be 60 degrees. So pi over 3 in this case, you can see is going to be the same thing as 60 degrees. So 60, 120, 240, 300. And what about if I take that 60 and I cut it in half? Then it's going to be 30 degrees, right? So you can see pi over 6 is equivalent to 30 degrees. 30 degrees. This would be 150 degrees. This would be 150 to 10 degrees. And then this would be 330 degrees. So again, I want you to see that relationship, right? We're not creating new angles. We're just creating a new way to measure or show or represent our angle. And that's going to be using the use of radians rather than always using degrees. All right. So before you go and get to some practice or really kind of cement this, what I want to do is just kind of go through a practice of how to graph an angle, because a lot of times I showed with these lines, and sometimes students just need it to use these lines so they can understand how to do it. But then also I want to give you guys some special cases. And so therefore you can kind of practice some more difficult ones. So let's just kind of do a couple quick examples. And then what I'll show you is we'll work on some practice on this. And then we'll get into how we can actually memorize and utilize with this unit circle. So if I said, what is going to be sketch? Let's just do a couple quick sketches. What about if I said sketch the angle 2 pi over 3? All right, so what you're going to want to do is create an XY axis. And you're always going to start here. Now, again, you could think about this as you know, all right, well, here's half a circle we know is pi, which is really the same thing as 3 pi over 3. So whatever my denominator is, that's how many parts I need to create, right? So we have pi, 3 pi over 3 is pi. We're going to break it up into 3 sections, and I need 2 of them. So again, we're always going to go from here to here, and we say, all right, so my angle is just going to be from here, this ray, to that ray. That would be your angle, 2 pi over 3. That's exactly what that would look like. Now, there's also some special cases, because what if I said sketch a negative 5 pi over 4? You say, all right, well, let's do this. So let's create this. Now, this one kind of gets a little confusing here, because now I'm going to go in my negative. I know now I need to go in this negative direction, right? I'm not doing a positive angle. I'm going to rotate this way. But again, I have 4. So I'm going to create 4 equal parts. So this would be negative pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, negative 4 pi over 4. Well, I need to go one more pi over 4, right? So then what I'll do is I'll just create the other side of my circle, and I'll just add this. Now, again, if I'm going to graph this, the negative version, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, would be to right here. So that would represent my angle of negative 5 pi over 4. Now, there's 2 more I want to give you, because I think it's really important for you to understand, because they do come up. So the next angle is, what about if I asked you to sketch a 13 pi over 6? You say, ooh, that's kind of interesting. Now, I'm going to give you a trick to be able to do this later when we talk about how to memorize the unit circle and some tips and tricks. So we'll get into that. But for right now, let's just practice graphing this. If I have it 6, I know that, all right, it's going to be a positive angle. I can break it up into 6 equal parts. Now, in reality, ladies and gentlemen, you don't always have to draw these lines. I think just when you're first learning how to do this, it becomes helpful. But if I was going to graph this 13 pi over 6, I'd say, all right, well, this is 6 pi over 6. This would be 12 pi over 6. So I can go all the way around the circle, right? I don't need to count them. I know all the way around the circle is 12 pi over 6, because 12 pi over 6 is equivalent to 2 pi. But I need to go 1 pi over 6 more. So then you go up there. So when we're dealing with actually graphing radians, we can actually go over 360 degrees, or in radian terms, over 2 pi. We can actually have what we call multiple revolutions, but that's what that graph would look like. And one more, which is always a confusing one, is what if I said 3 pi over 7? How would you do this? Now, again, this is a great one, because students kind of get the relationship here, but then I give them 7 and they're like, wait a minute, what are we going to do here? How do we do this? So I don't have a great way of breaking up half of a circle into 7 parts, okay? I really don't. But I know that halfway around the circle is 7 pi over 7, all right? So I'm just going to kind of do, I'm just going to kind of break it up as best I can. Now, you might say, well, how do you know where this is at? Well, I do know that half of 7, right, is actually going to, oops, actually, I made that up. That's all wrong. I know half of 7 is not 2.5, it's 3.5, right? So if I know that that's going to be 3.5, I know roughly I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that would be my 7. So if I want to do 3 pi over 7, I know it's just going to be 3 of those, because I know I can't go past halfway, right, which would be 3.5. So that angle would be represented like that. So I have a couple of these problems for you to go ahead and practice in the document down below. So go and get some practice. And then in the next video, we're going to focus on how to memorize this unit circle. So therefore, you can be able to graph this and effectively know all the values of the unit circle like that. I'll see you in the next video.